Something I've been thinking about for the past couple months is what next? It's been really tough because I don't really know what the next big project is. And I just kind of feel stuck. And if you're feeling that way too, maybe we can use this opportunity to talk about it, talk it through, and maybe we can help each other out. So let's do it. Creative ruts really suck. The one I'm in is less about what ideas do I have and more which ones do I pursue. Do I write that feature film or do I actually shoot the short film that I wrote long ago? It kind of feels like the car is working, but I don't have any directions. I don't have a map. So my first step to get out of this creative rut is I'm going to look at other directors' work and kind of see what they've done in the past and track their career from start to finish. Something you'll notice when you watch a lot of filmmakers' movies, big directors, they all kind of are making the same movie over and over again, right? They just have slight permutations, slightly different settings, but for the most part, they're kind of saying the same thing. When I start thinking about the next big film that we're gonna do, I think I have to kind of look at what I've done. What do I want to bring from my past projects onto this next one? I guess in times like this, I really like to think about what brought me here in the first place. What are my influences? What got me into filmmaking in the first place? And a lot of times I always look back at the TV show Lost. Lost was really big into character studies, how characters became the person that they are through different life events. One device that I really like to use in all my films, especially when I'm writing, is the flashbacks. Flashbacks are from Lost. Lost used flashbacks all the time. And I thought it was so cool. I just like the idea of peeling back a story layer by layer, learning a little bit more information so that when you cut back to the present time, you understand where the character's at mentally and you kind of understand the stakes more. My favorite movie of 2024 was Challengers, and I think Challengers is just a perfect example of flashing back, giving a little bit of information, and then cutting to the present time. And now you understand the stakes of the tennis match. Every time you do a flashback, I feel like you learn so much information about their relationship and what it means to them. And, what this match between these two guys means. And finally, when we're at the end, the music's flaring. It's just an awesome film and a perfect example of the type of story I like to tell. Slowly unveiling information, you get more and more. It feels like a story sandwich, you're just enjoying a full meal of a story, and it's awesome. And that's something that I like to use in my films, and I imagine that will be something I use in the future. So Lost was a huge influence for me, and I would also say that Pixar movies are a huge influence for me as well. I grew up with Pixar. I still watch Pixar to this day, and I'm still blown away how good they are at telling compelling stories with awesome characters, super memorable characters, and just amazing visuals as well. It's just the perfect combination. Their wholesomeness is unmatched. They always find a way to just hit that soft spot. What's the saddest thing that you could think of right now? They just always find ways to warm your heart in the best ways. It's awesome. It's funny, the other day I was looking at my letterbox and I have Inside Out and Nightcrawler sitting right next to each other, and I'm just like, what's going on here, man? What? So I think this method of self-reflecting on your influences is really important. But the next step is to look at what genre are you wanting to work in? What genre inspires you? Sometimes I like to start with a really, really simple short film idea. My go-to project is a simple horror film typically. I like to have just one actor, one monster in your house. The point is though, make it easy. Make it something that gets you writing, gets you shooting, gets you editing. Just start. It doesn't have to be good. You don't have to put it out. And I think focusing on the genre specifically too will get you to start thinking about the type of film that you want to make. For years now, I've been bouncing between horror and comedy. With Cross My Heart, I kind of blended the two, and it felt the most like me. And I kind of like that, and I want to try to continue and grow that genre that I've kind of started to build for myself here. I love exploring darker tones in films, trying to find extremely like shock value moments. But I also like to laugh and have fun in my films. And sometimes the best feeling is when I'm laughing through the horror. I think a great example of that is Get Out. The first time I saw Get Out and I got to the end of the film and I was laughing through it because it's so brutal. It's such a brutal concept, and you see how horrible the situation the main character is in, and it just made me laugh because it was just so well done. Literally, like, just looking at everyone when I finished the film, I was like, oh my god, that was crazy. Like, I want to try to recreate that feeling of laughing through the horror. And that's what I want to do in the future with my films, is I want to balance the two tones of horror and comedy, and making people laugh, but then also, terrifying them at the same time. And it's a real challenge for me as a filmmaker, and it excites me and it gets me writing, and that's really important. So that's kind of the tone that I think a lot about when I'm thinking about my next project. But let's talk about some of the themes I like to talk about. So what type of characters and stories do I like to have in my films? For me, it always kind of seems to start from a place of just like internet culture. I'll be scrolling through my phone and seeing what people are talking about. How are people affected by it? What are we all talking about? And how is the internet changing that conversation? It's interesting because Cross My Heart kind of started from the internet trend of icks. I started seeing people getting icks about certain specific things, and I'm like, that would be an interesting character trait for this particular serial killer lady, and I kind of just like took it to the 11th degree. The same goes for Vincent, actually. The character of Vincent, he didn't have any other character traits other than he was just a guy who cleaned up the murder mess, And I was like, I feel like it just needs something else. So I thought of the idea of maybe I'll make him a YouTube star, and he wants to be an internet personality. And that totally opened up the film. It made it so much more different, and it changed Vincent as a character, and it changed the whole film, I think, as a whole. Following what we're all doing and talking about as a culture, as a society online, and I'm just kind of taking one bit of it and I'm expanding it and talking about it in a narrative way. I hope that this video has helped you get out of your creative rut. I imagine if you clicked on this video, you're probably going through one yourself. Talking it through has been a big, huge help for me, and I think it's gotten me out of it, and I think I'm ready to get back into it. I'll leave you guys with one more tip before I leave, and it's one that I think that is maybe a little bit more simple than it seems, but it's also possibly the most helpful one. Talk about your creative rut with your friends, talk about ideas, and collaborate with people, and they'll help you get out of it. Part of the filmmaking journey, and I've said this quite a bit on this channel already, but it's all about finding friends and collaborators along the way. My writers group is a year strong now. Nothing gets me in a better mood than going to my writers group and just eating snacks and talking about ideas, about future projects, reading scripts. It's such a good time, and I definitely recommend doing it because it really gets people in early on the creative process of filmmaking, and it's really exciting to like share ideas with people. So something that I'm kind of made a promise to myself when I first started Inside the Fire, and that was to really try to push the limit every 10 episodes and really change what I do on the series, and try to expand it with different equipment, different styles of filmmaking. This episode probably looks a little different than all the other episodes, and I'm just trying to experiment with different ways of shooting it, and it's been fun. The next 10 episodes are going to be a little different from the last 10 episodes, so that's very exciting. I'm very happy you guys are here to watch these videos, learn from my mistakes, all that fun stuff. Last thing I'll say is we have an awesome team here at Fiction Makes Fire that work on a lot of different things. For example, our Instagram and TikTok has got a lot of fun new stuff on there. So if you guys want to check it out, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Fiction Makes Fire, and keep up with what we're doing on our future projects and all that. So, as always, subscribe to the channel, send to your friends, whatever. Stay tuned, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.